fourth industrial revolution basically is, we've been seeing it happening with all the technological advances. So, everything is smart now. Smartphones, smart cars, smart houses are next. So we're being immense with this merging with technology and robotics, artificial intelligence. Now we're seeing a new shift. And this new shift also encompasses a wealth of opportunity that normally we wouldn't have privy to. So financially, there's opportunities. We have these new currencies coming out. We have all of these new things that are coming about. And a lot of folks are kind of in the dark about what all this actually is, because it's going to eventually be the haves and the have-nots if you're not key on what's happening. Our ability to earn is in question. So that long conversation, that tabooish conversation that we don't talk about in our communities about money really needs to happen right now.
Used to want a piece of the pie, now I want the recipe. Tried to get a 9 to the 5, now I'd rather work for me. I need the whole thing.
Greetings, family. Have we got a treat in store for you? I have live and direct right here via Zoom. Baba Mbwebi, he is going to be gracing us with his presence here at Everlasting Life Vegan Restaurant and Lounge, 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland, this Saturday. What is the date? Help me out, brother.
July 9th.
July 9th. 5:30 p.m. He is going to be in the house talking about what we need to know to survive the fourth industrial revolution. I am so excited to hear about this myself. Talking about the financial future. What does that look like for us all? So I'm so curious, brother, what can they expect? And I really want to know, can you break down briefly, what is the fourth industrial revolution?
All right, so greetings and give thanks. The fourth industrial revolution basically is, we've been seeing it happening with all the technological advances. So, everything is smart now. Smartphones, smart cars, smart houses are next. So we're being immense with this merging with technology and robotics, artificial intelligence. So now we're seeing, just as we had a few years ago or several decades ago, we had the third industrial revolution where we had steel and the Carnegies and the Mellons and the Rockefellers and the Fords, where they're creating the auto industry, et cetera. Now we're seeing a new shift. And this new shift also encompasses a wealth of opportunity that normally we wouldn't have privy to. So financially, there's opportunities. We have these new currencies coming out. We have all of these new things that are coming about. And a lot of folks are kind of in the dark about what all this actually is. We'll talk about the metaverse. We'll talk about, artificial intelligence, augmented reality versus virtual reality, altered universes, all these type of things that are happening now. These looks to be entertaining, but there's also opportunity for us to take advantage of, to create this wealth that we're looking for, because it's going to eventually be the haves and the have-nots if you're not key on what's happening, because they're looking at us from a consumer perspective. But with all artificial intelligence coming on the scene, our ability to earn is in question. So that long conversation, that tabooish conversation that we don't talk about in our communities about money really needs to happen right now. Because if we don't, as they say, if you don't really plan something for yourself, you're gonna have to accept someone else's plan, and what they have planned for you isn't too much.
Wow, that sounds very interesting. Yeah, and especially like you said, this day and age, things are shifting fast.
Yeah.
At a rapid pace.
Absolutely.
And and it sounds like if we're not prepared, we're gonna be behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't even want to think about what that's gonna look like. And so, and you're gonna tie all this into the financial aspect of where we're going.
Yes.
For us specifically, it sounds like.
It's exclusively and specifically for us, because we're number one, the least knowing and most deserving. And it's strategically designed that way for us to not know as much. So for me, finances, it's not so much about let's all get rich, but it's putting yourself in a position where let's just understand this thing here, that we were not born to work for someone for 40 some odd years and you die, or then you retire, then you die. That's pretty much a wasted life. What is our purpose? And so money has gotten in the way of defining our purpose. So my goal is to teach us how to attain finances to a point where you master it, where you now own your time. If you can own your time, meaning that you can master finances, then you don't have to clock in. You know, you don't have to worry about your boss letting you go at a moment's notice when it's a, you know, courtesy for you to give them 2 weeks notice. They can fire you on a day of, which has happened to me. So the goal is to get us to understand, if we understand finances and we master and get money to work for us instead of us working for it, then we can begin defining our purpose, in addition to defining ways to lessen the blows of things that are coming our way. Again, with artificial intelligence, that's going to be elimination, really the nail in the coffin for the elimination of the middle class. So if there's going to be the haves and the have-nots, and we've been too far many times for generations on the have-not side. So how can we use finances to both create that sustainability and then elevate it to a point where collectively we can do some things to have some say in what happens in our future? Because far too long, all the other races are defining what our future is. And, you know, again, they don't have really good intentions. So in order for us to have an ability to compete, to combat, and also to hand down to our generations, not just our kids, but our great-great-grandkids that aren't even here yet, enabling them to inherit something. I've learned some strategies and I've been implementing those for the last 5 years, which helped me create the Cryptowoke financial sustainability movement. And this is where I'm in search of 3,000 families to get us on the same page financially. That simple number will allow us to have magnetic effects in all of our communities, scaling it. And it's something that is not, it's not rocket science. You know, of all the things of all the things that we go to school to get educated on, none of us are educated in finances, and that governs everything. So we'll go and get as many doctorates and masters and PhDs about this skill, that in order for us to do this skill, we have to work for someone to get it. So that means if they wouldn't let us go, we got to find some other plantation to work on. Why not understand how finances work so that you won't have to find a plantation? You can build your own foundation and then incorporate some of these financial methodologies that's been shared by these primarily white families for over 300 years, that has enabled them to hand down riches to their great-great-greats and to their future. That's a play that we haven't done yet. So that's something that I'm focused on, is giving us that ability to have some say in our future. And it starts with your finances, because at the end of the day, it's all about money.
I love it. I love it. And you kind of touched on, because as you were talking, I'm wondering who, because so many of the people in our in our circles are intimidated by even the word finance, because a lot of us come from humble beginnings, and sometimes we never leave those type of humble beginnings, and so who is this lecture catered to? I mean, is my good girlfriend who been struggling for most of her life, paying paycheck to paycheck? What is she welcomed to this type of lecture? Will she gain some insight and coming and people like her? Or is it catered to a certain sect of individuals with a certain type of mindset?
The only specific, I would say, genre is that it's for Black people.
Okay.
Of all ages, be it, grade school on up to elders. The reason why is because a cycle of life, as we've been, as I mentioned earlier, been programmed to believe, is that you grow up, you get a job, you work for someone, then you retire, and then you're supposed to have this life after ever, right? But the reality is that it's not the case. We're never taught how to, where to invest our monies. And when we do invest our monies in certain places, the returns are very minimal to none. In fact, in most cases, there are losses, 401ks, stock market, et cetera. So it's intimidating because we never had this conversation. It's taboo because no one wants to talk about how broke they are. So that's what gets passed on. So, we're afraid to have that conversation. But once we begin to speak about this thing, and my approach is I give a historical background first to let you know that this is systemically set up. It's not your fault that you're afraid to look at your credit score. It's not your fault that you don't understand, how can I buy a house, or why don't I have enough money in my savings account? Although I'm working 50, 60 hours a week sometimes, I still have nothing to show for it. It's not our fault. It's just that we've never been exposed to these things because we believed in the American dream. So now this conversation is catered towards every person of African background or ethnicity, because eventually you will lose your job. This is what I tell people. And I learned this after working for the National Basketball Association for 12 years. I was there for 12 years and I got let go because of what I post on social media about African history. Not because I didn't do my job right, it was because I did on my own time. So the point is that eventually, no matter how much you or how long you've been in a company, you're going to reach a ceiling, and tenure no longer exists. So you may be at this job for some odd years, but there's a certain amount of salary they want to give you, and they want to give that salary, they want to cut it in half and hire someone that just came out of college. So they'll probably even have you train that person and then let you go after they learn what they learned. So the bottom line is, even though we're tethered to our employers on how we live our lives, once they let us go, the bill collectors aren't empathetic about that. Every 30 days, your bills are due, whether you are retired or not, okay? You think that your money in your 401k is going to take care of you when you retire, or your Social Security, which is slated to not be here by the year 2034. These are things that we don't face until we get there. And once we get there, we have no decision, we have no option. So we end up having to move in with family or things of that nature, or even trying to get back into the workforce at 65, 70 years old. So the point is that how can we mitigate that? And in fact, eliminate that for those elders or those that are recently retired, about to retire, and even for those children who, before they even get in the labor force, can understand the importance of credit scores and how you can use other people's money to build wealth, so that you will never have to work for someone at the age of 20, 25 if you do the thing right. That's what this is all about. These are the conversations that other ethnicities are having that we have not been privy to until now. And that's what I intend to bring to the table.
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward again, Saturday, July 9th.
Tomorrow.
At Everlasting Life, 5:30 p.m. So you're going to be right here, live and direct, right on stage to share all the wealth and knowledge that you know to help us build a stronger nation moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So family, come on out. Come on out. You hear the brother, right? I can't wait for him to get here. So I'm all ears. So so come on and join us tomorrow. Don't miss this. This could be some life-changing information that can catapult you to a whole nother fourth dimension.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's come on out of the third dimension and let's head on up. Let's elevate, family, and that's what time it is.
Absolutely.
So, brother, thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
I appreciate it, and I look forward to meeting you tomorrow in person.
Give thanks. I look forward to see you too. Madasipa.
All right, family, take care.
Used to want a piece of the pie, now I want the recipe. Tried to get a 9 to the 5, now I'd rather work for me. I need the whole